Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. 5011 fam. Period. It's ZD, it's Jay. We're back doing what we do here at the 5011 Chronicles, having conversations that spark conversation. And y'all, we're about to continue this conversation. We're about to talk about part two of the new Spider-Man animated series on Disney Plus from Marvel, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah,
So, let's talk about this second half of this show because
it
I
was
feel
so
like
good. Oh, the
it was,
second half
first
was
of all,
so
the
good.
show was just so fantastic. Like I said, I really grew to love the animation style because at first I was a little worried, but I grew to love
It
it.
really picked up that second
It
half
really
too.
picked up the second half. We get some of the best fights, period, in the whole show in the second half. Like this first half of the show, they're building Peter up, they're building the
Hmm.
story and getting us to this climax. And I think like we talked about it some in the last episode, but that fight, that big fight scene where we see that transition of Lonnie gets his nickname, he has a meeting
Hmm.
with the crew, um, the 110th. He has that meeting. He gets his nickname that is comic book accurate. That's Tombstone. And even he like I think that's really interesting the way that the character development works in the show because
Hmm.
with Lonnie, he was very he was very resistant in his transition into this group. Like very resistant at the beginning and saving Big Donovan's life in that big fight with the Scorpions. Saving Big Donovan's life, I think even the appreciation they gave him, we see him start
Hmm.
to show a little more pride in the crew. And I don't know. It's interesting because I like the way that they have painted this transition of this model citizen, perfect athlete, perfect student
Yeah,
into the perfect crew member. Like,
and it's like he's still like himself, like to an extent. Like it's not like he's lost himself in it. He's just. I think it's like an adaptable environment, just because if you think about like a football team, it's not really other than like the illegal stuff. It's not really that different in like the camaraderie of it, how they interact with each other. Like they're even rough with each other in that. You know what I'm saying? And I
mhm.
think it was even like that fight is no different than him going out on the field with his team fighting
Yeah,
there, not physically, but you know what I mean. And so I
that's a
feel
really
like
good
it's
parallel.
it's kind of like that brotherhood and that camaraderie probably was
Hmm.
easy for him to meld into. And it is not like he no little weak, little puny nothing, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
So it's like he has
Hmm.
that confidence being able to back up what he's talking to, because he
That's
used his
good.
football
Facts.
skills to save
To
Donnie.
save him. It was a
So,
tackle. It was a true tackle. It was a true football tackle. It's a
hmm
really good point because, like, I guess my mind didn't even go to that space. I love the analogy, Fran. The comparison. I didn't even like it. Just see that's why you're supposed to iron sharpens iron, diamond sharpen diamond. You're supposed to be around people like you because they will show you things. Thank you, Fran. So for me, my perspective, what I took from it was as being a black man, was seeing because of his love for family and his desire to protect his brother, I'm willing to do whatever it takes at all costs, by any means necessary. And I
hmm
guess that's where my mind went with his transition. Is it's like, in order for me to get back to me and the things that I want to do, this is what I'm going to have to do to ensure my brother's
Yeah.
protected, to ensure my family is safe and unaware of what's going on. And I think even watching, like, we've seen it in live action shows and in movies, of course, but even watching him like break off that relationship with Pearl and how that whole thing, that because child, that was a hot mess and stress,
Child.
even for an animated show. Like, doing the cold shoulder, distancing, not answering phone calls, leading to like this blow up. First of all, Miss Pearl, your
Pearl,
name
where
is
were you
not
going?
bulletproof.
Where
Your
are
name
you
is
going?
not
Where
name
are
is
you
not
going?
invincible. She pulled up at the warehouse.
Let's start at the beginning
Um,
though. Dre told her to pull up at
Dre
the
did
warehouse.
tell her
Dre.
where to pull up. The
Dre.
brother is the
You ain't
villain of
did
the show.
nothing this whole
Actually,
series but piss me off. The real
the
villain.
true villain is Dre. Actually, everyone. Spoiler alert:
Like, ugh,
Dre's the villain. Dre did
he
it all.
blew me. How you texting her talking about you worried about me, but I was worried about you when the police pulled up with you, and that's how I ended up here. Because Mama was on the couch crying her
Crying.
poor little eyes
Thinking we're about to get a whole nother report. Let me tell you, back to that scene real quick. When he pulled up in that room, the first thing I thought is, oh, this is not how this show's about to start. Like, this is not where we are not about to do this during Black History Month. And they were very much like, no, we're not. Dre's upstairs in his room. Like, calm down. I was like, okay, girl, because y'all had me feeling some kind of way for just a second. But
well, he
what
wasn't
I,
even up there. He escaped,
he had escaped.
which is
Um,
how we got here.
which is how we got here. Exactly. It's interesting because that fight scene that it breaks out is, of course, one of the biggest ones of the show. But it also
Mhm.
shows like the naivete of the high schoolers and people whose brains really haven't fully matured. Their brains have not fully
Mhm.
matured yet, and you're out here making these grown. I just really want to know who she thought she was about to be in the superhero world, because man, what you were about to do
Here's
was
my thing:
was Swiss cheese.
is what you was about to
Well,
do.
no, they didn't. They
And
didn't
it's like
actually.
you
And
coming up in
actually,
here.
I need to interject super quick because that was one thing that I found really interesting about the show. Did you notice there was no pew pew presence in this show when it came to the crew and the crew fights? Everything was fist
When they was
fights.
them up though when she got there, but they didn't use them though. But they was
Right. They
packing
had
them
them.
up when she
They
got there.
exactly. But did you notice they did not use them? Like the only people who used
Yeah.
them were like law enforcement. But they did not. I found that was one thing that I noticed about this show. That one I actually appreciated the minute I noticed it. I was like, oh wow, that's a really different take. And I appreciate it, and I get it's probably Marvel and Disney and Spider-Man and all of the trademarks and all of the things involved. I get that's probably the
But you know what
official
I think what it was too though? Remember when Donnie was telling him basically like if you like how this neighborhood is now, like we the people that's keeping it this way. We keep the Scorpion in them out. They the ones that be on that type of time.
on
Like
that
he's
stuff.
not
Yeah,
even that guy. You know what
he's
I'm
not.
saying? Like he just trying to make sure everybody else is good because if they
Hmm.
take over, it's a done deal for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's more of like a testament of his character of how his crew moves. Because Scorpion didn't have no problem
Yes.
pulling that little knife out
Come on now.
and
And that's what it was giving. You know,
slicing
like
them
I don't
up.
know if you remember The Outsiders, but that is another thing I thought of when
Mhm.
the Scorpions pulled the blade out. It's like I appreciate y'all giving us a slicing fight and someone pulling out an
Mhm.
illegal slicer versus us having another pew pew type show
Mhm.
and moment. And I appreciated that about the show. Okay, so back to Pearl. I still don't know, like, in that fight, though, that's what's. You are foolish, Miss Ma'am.
First of all, coming in here like you on Scandal, girl, with your little speech and monologue, girl,
Come on
sit
now.
down. You have no idea what world we in. You
What
have no idea
is
what's going on. You didn't
what are
let
you
Dre
doing?
lead you down here, and you want to
Dre
give me
told
this
me
little
to
speech about what I'm doing, like I want to do this. Girl,
oh
I
my
didn't
God,
want to do this.
we can leave. You can walk away with me now.
Leave.
Girl,
Girl, what
do
is this,
you
Fresh Prince of
not
Bel
know
Air?
how
You
this,
gonna take me
this
over to
is
your house
not,
now to move in with you?
come on now. That was actually comical at best. But
I was so annoyed.
the fight that breaks out to me is one of the best fights of the show. Like, I think
It
it's one
was.
of my favorite fights for sure. Watching Scorpion and Spider-Man go at it, and Spider-Man's not there yet. Like, actually, the second fight was my favorite because that was fantastic. Um, this second favorite, go for a second. That fight was just like brutal, especially when we're realizing Spider-Man is
He is not about to win. He is not ready.
you're
He
not
is
ready.
eating his Wheaties. He has not done his push-ups. And this fight is exactly why I said I do not like fake webs. You are Spider-Man. Where are your webs? Where are your
Because
webs?
you run out. What do you
How
mean
can you
you
run
ran
out of
out of
webs?
web? You're Spider-Man.
This is you.
This is
This is
literally what you
you.
do. This is what
That's
you
like
do, sir.
Coca-Cola saying we ran out of Coke. Girl, what? This is you.
This is literally what you do, sir. The whole spiel, the whole branding
You done
moment.
ran out. Running out of web is so tacky. It's so tacky. Like, I'm sorry.
So ghetto.
So tacky.
It was so ghetto of you, Spider-Man.
Ugh.
Um, But I think what was really cool about that fight is, of course, we see now Scorpion unveiled in his glory, fighting, giving. It's giving Scorpion. That's what I do like about it is I like the new origins in this universe because I think we can go ahead and just categorize this as its own universe. It'll probably be identified at some
It really
point,
is. It's
but
really
it's really
dope.
its own universe. We have a completely different origin for Peter Parker. And this is definitely not taking place in the 2020s. It's not taking place in the 2000s. It's not giving 2000s. It could be. It could be the early 2000s, but it's not giving. It's not giving, I guess, the new iteration, new generation. This is a past
Hmm.
telling. So I think
Yeah.
if we ever see this guy live action, he's going to be older. Like, he's going to be older. He's not going to be a young teeny bopper. He's not. This is not Tom Holland. Like, this is not him. So for me, that fight had one of the best, like, little Easter egg hint teaser moments when we see Peter getting whooped. And there was the moment, right, when he runs out of web, he's able to get Scorpion a little incapacitated, temporarily
Hmm.
incapacitated. We got you
But he didn't
stuck
even have
right
no web
here,
to get away. You just
stuck. So
spitting.
Norman had been in walkie this whole time. He'd been on the headset, listening, giving him tips where he
Barely.
needed them, barely. Really focused on something else, but okay. So Norman had took his earpiece out, and Scorpion breaks up out of the way and beat the dog brakes
I mean,
off of Spider-Man.
hold
Beat the brakes off of him.
boy,
Like,
the little spider.
I was like, I was sitting there literally
You know
hand
how
over
you
mouth
hit a
like,
spider and it ball up? Like that's what he might as well have did. Just balled right on the.
tore him
And how you supposed to
up.
be my point man? You beg to be. You take your earpiece out. You're fired. You are fired.
Isn't it wild how he finally noticed it because of the suit? So the suit he had designed, so whenever the suit was pierced and it had been torn, he got a warning. Like, uh-oh, Spider-Man's in
Hmm.
trouble. So he gets this warning because he's still in the war room, we'll call it. He's still in the war room, and he gets this warning that Spider-Man's, like, chest has been pierced. He hops back on that walkie and is like, Peter, what's going on? I see your suit has been torn.
I'm getting my ass
And
whooped.
Peter's
That's
like,
what's
I
going
need your
on.
help. Help me. Help.
Right.
Um, and that's actually literally what he ends up saying is like, Mr. Osborn, help me. And we
That's
get
all he
one
could
of
get out
the
for, baby.
best. It was one of the most delicious teasers. The little drones come in and they're green. All
And
you
that
see at
little
first is the
thing,
green light. And I thought it was
I
him.
was like, I
I was like,
fucking
oh,
knew it.
he's on there. It's time. We're about to see one of Spider-Man's greatest villains right now. And we didn't. And we got the drone. First, I was shook. I wasn't disappointed. I was shook. I said, ooh, y'all got me. I should have known it was going to be harder than that. Ooh, Marvel, you trifling.
I didn't think he was
So,
gonna come out straight away, but as soon as I seen it, I said, I fucking knew it. I
knew
knew where
it.
we was going. I said,
Knew
look at
where
him.
we were going with
He
this.
already plotted. And what he was looking for from Octavius at that, I'm like, here you go. This is the
There it is.
beginning.
There it
This
is.
that episode was like the setup for
The
here
setup.
comes,
Yes.
here he
Because
comes.
season 2 is definitely going to show us both Octavius and Norman as they really take on the personas. Like,
This
we're
is
going to
gonna be
get real
wild.
Dope God and we're going to get real Green Goblin, sure, in season 2. It is wild because even with that teaser and that taste, to me, what was just one of those crazy moments, it was just so crazy to me, is Peter wakes up in the hospital and they're like, oh, it's just Norman. He's like, oh, you're awake. Oh my God, where's my mask? Oh, it's cool. We're at, Oscorp. We got you in the medical wing. Nobody knows. Just me and you. We're all good here. And he's like, okay, what about Aunt May? This is the part where I'm over here like,
period, because it
We told
wouldn't
her
have been
you were just
the
staying the night over. You're not gonna tell my mom anything if she not hear my voice.
if she not hear my voice,
If she not hear my
hear it
voice
from me.
from me. Oh,
I
but
didn't
I need to.
ask.
You know
You
what?
just
I'm gonna
told her.
FaceTime real quick because I just need to see him. That'll be the first. My mom be like, uh huh. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I need to talk with. I need to hear him because he
Exactly.
didn't ask me. You're not gonna tell me what he's doing. He didn't ask me.
'Cause I'm like, how y'all gonna swing this man May? Like, and
And
then
May
when
was
he
like,
came
yeah,
beat up, and she just like, oh, skateboarding. Oh, okay. No, that conversation would have been a whole lot longer if it was my mom, but she would have needed details.
all of
What
it.
happened? How did it happen? Where did you go?
Where
Why was you
where
in the
were you?
hospital and didn't tell me?
Who was
Why didn't
there?
you call me?
So you were just gonna pull up black and blue and not say anything. We weren't gonna go. You didn't think we were gonna. Let's go over to their house now,
With
actually,
an
because
arm sling at that.
arms. Where did you get the
So you
sling?
went to
Because
the
that would have been.
hospital
She would be like, so
and
you
you
went to
didn't
the
call me?
hospital and you didn't call me? Oh, okay. May didn't ask enough questions for me. May did not
Maybe
ask
that's
enough
no question.
questions for me. She didn't
What you
May didn't
say?
say a
We're
word.
teammates or something like that. We're a team. Or-
I'm like, I get this as May, but y'all be BFFR right now. I need y'all to be for real.
We're a team. I need you to tell me the truth, girl. It's okay.
Shook.
I said,
So,
ooh, that wouldn't have happened at
child,
Lonnie house. Mm-mm.
at all, at all. And it probably, honestly, it wouldn't have happened at Harry's house either. I don't think that would have happened
Okay.
like that. No matter, I don't think that would have happened like that. Um, I do think another thing that was cool that we kind of like, we've been saving it because we were just kind of breezed over a little bit last episode. We didn't want to go too far. But before we get to this fight, or this, no, this was after the fight. This was after when Peter's healed up and he's good. Um, Norman does give him like an ultimatum, and essentially is. Did you find it interesting? Because me and somebody else were talking about this. Peter Parker, Spider-Man, the origin story, we've always had that famous quote from Uncle Ben, which we did not get for real any Uncle Ben in this series. We saw a picture of him,
Hmm.
but Uncle Ben has always been like an incredibly pivotal character in the storytelling and the character of who Spider-Man is. And in this show, I find it interesting that we're going to get more of the dad side because we see some of that at the end of the show. But before we get there, Norman, or no, Peter, this show has always been known for having that quote from Uncle Ben, with great power comes great responsibility, as Peter was transitioning into Spider-Man.
Hmm.
Um, with great power comes great responsibility. But I find it interesting, and this is how we know this is a different universe, is when Peter first hears this quote, it's not the same quote, and it's not coming from Uncle
Hmm.
Ben, it's coming from Norman Osborn. And instead he says, with great power comes great
That was
respect.
great. Respect.
And that's interesting because one, that's very true to the character of Norman Osborn.
Hmm.
Very true to his
It's
character.
very obvious to someone who would get to where he is doing what he does. That's
It makes sense that that would be what you consider a
and
tenet
being black on top of that,
and
because it
being
gives
black.
Norman another layer that he's black.
Another layer. Come on now. So that was something I found a very interesting tweak, if you will, to the origin. Again, a major
Hmm.
signifier that we're in a different universe here. This is a different Peter Parker, a different time. Clearly, his best friend's Nico Minoru. So this is a very different time. Her origins are going to be, her origins are already completely different as a foster child because instead of
Hmm.
having the staff upon, she's probably going to have
Child,
this
her
amulet
foster
upon.
mom was something else.
Let's
When
get into
Harry
that.
pulled up, she's just like, "Oh yeah, he down. Come on down here."
How real How real, before we get into that, how real was that introduction of a friend of a friend? You know, like that whole moment where Peter has to escape and go be Spider-Man for a second and comes back because he
Hmm.
got them all to hang up.
And they just
First of
sitting
all,
there.
Peter was, this is a question for the class. There's a moment where Peter is clearly best friends with Nico. They've been best friends most of their lives. And he's now new friends with Harry Osborn. He saved his life, and Harry is sometimes the man in his ear as he is, out Spider-Maning. Again,
Hmm.
definitely a different universe because Harry was always in most of the story. He was just his best friend. So Peter decides he's gonna pull up to his movie date with Nico, his best friend. Their friend date. We're going to see this new movie, have a good time. He pulls up with Harry. No warning, no text message, no
You
nothing.
gotta tell me, cause
I'm
I
here
don't
with
fool with
somebody else.
him. Like,
But what's interesting, I think, okay, so we get the whole movie moment. They go to the movies, it's fine. Nico's clearly feeling some kind of way. Peter's like, don't worry, we're gonna do something at my house. We're gonna have game night. It's gonna be fantastic. Me, you, and Harry. And Nico's like, it's always like I'm sure Nico's thinking it's always just been me and you. I don't know how I feel about this. I like seeing this guy on my
if she
phone,
don't fool with
but
Harry.
I don't really know that I like seeing him all the time. Like, because she
Mm.
follows him on social media. I think low key, Nico like Harry.
Russian.
I think that's what's going on here. And it made her uncomfortable for him to all of a sudden be part of their friend circle. Like, you're supposed to be a fantasy. You're supposed to be someone that I see when I look on the phone. I'm like, oh, he's fine.
Hmm.
I like the pic. I go past. I scroll. It is what it is. He's rich. It's not something that's realistic for me. I didn't think this was going to be somebody I actually in my friend circle. So their whole transition, I think, is really interesting. One, we've seen it again. This is something we've seen in shows before. It's not some new take on a story, new telling of a story. It's a trope we've seen, but I like the way they did it. I like the
Hmm.
way this show is not just one note. It's not just Spider-Man, the superhero fighting crime. Every episode's a new villain, which we do get some of that. We do get, especially the first half, we're getting new villains every episode. We're getting, him building up this skill set. But I like that this is built to be a more complex story. We
Hmm.
have not just we have our main story, and just like you're watching a live action show where you've got your main thing that's going on that's affecting everybody in the cast, and then you've got so and so and so and so together and they're sneaking around, and then so and so and so and so this is going on over here. And this person's struggling in school, and this person's on crack. Like you've got all these different stories going on, going
I
on.
like Nico and
I
Harry's
loved
little
it.
side story of him
It was
teaching
those
her how to
sides.
drive. It
Oh,
was so cute. And then when she pulled up on
the
that, like
race,
Nico is mean, but she pulled up on that lady, like shoot, I don't know. And then that's when we get to see Nico a little glimpse of her.
a little glimpse,
But when she pulled up on that lady and she like, we gonna race. I don't even care. Like, yeah, I just learned how to drive today. We racing. Let's go. Like,
and
I
one.
was, I ain't gonna lie, I was with it. It won.
I was
Should
too.
have won. But won.
Shouldn't have, but one. I was every bit of here for that. I agree. Like their side story was one of my favorite sides. That and the costume changes. Every time that we're getting this costume moment, because with Peter's injury, of course we lose the white and black, white and blue costume, which was again a really sleek, really unique kind of just a really cool, different take on Spider-Man. It was him and Harry, Peter and Harry being cool that led to the iconic red and blue suit. And
Yeah.
I love how Harry, like, he was like, how, but there's no more, like, suits when it was time for him to run out and do some crime fighting. And he was like, oh, well, I just took them sketches that you had. I sure did. And I gave
You
them to the
listen to
folks.
your
I
opinions and your
listened to what you
thoughts.
wanted. And I took, cause you said red and blue. Okay, I talked to the folks and I took what you had and we got something. Let's look at this and see what you think. Perfect costume, perfect telling of the story. I loved it. I loved the costume side stories so much. It was
Hmm.
really good. Like, honestly, I don't think this is an unpopular opinion. I think all of the side stories were good because even the Doc Ock one building up to him, I like how it
Oh
was
yeah,
almost like a who is it? We know who it is, but we don't know we're good.
yeah.
Because
And
it's a
you know what
good
else I
villain.
like with Harry? Like that moment of him coming up with the suit. It wasn't even just the suit. It was more of a reflection. Like they've been having these little hints of like how Harry's really good, like to the point where he could be better than his dad, but he never gets that recognition or respect from.
Validation.
It's always a complaint about whatever he got going on or what he could
Hmm.
be doing better, which I feel like not even just being in a position of that power, but also being a black in a position of that power, you understand where that comes from and
Mm-hmm.
why a parent would be that way.
Yep.
Because to them, they think it's helping. When it's like you can balance it out a
There's a
little bit.
balance. Yeah,
You can
you can do
balance
a
it
little,
out. But I
little
think it was
two-step
a testament to
balance.
how like Harry always has these great ideas. He's good at doing all X, Y, and Z. He just doesn't get that from Norman, so he doesn't think he's good at it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's dope. Like they little side story they got going on.
I agree.
Where
Like,
is mom
I
at?
just,
Did they say anything about his mom?
I think they said something, but I'm gonna be real. I think either she's passed uh, or she left. I can't remember if she left or if she passed. It's one of those two, though. Like, I'm almost 100% sure willing to bet, and I don't bet on it. So what's going wrong? So, so we get that. We also like. I think Doc Ock is one of the best Spider-Man villains because of his resilience and because of his brilliance. Like those are legit
Hmm.
two of my favorite villains of Spider-Man. Period. Doc Ock and Green Goblin, and getting that teaser, that perfect teaser for Green Goblin, but even how Doc Ock plays out. Because to me, that was like the reminder. I think so often, except in the comics is really good about doing this, but so often on screen we don't see, and I think it's licensing issues or whatever, we don't realize that there's so many heroes in New York, which is where Spider-Man
Hmm.
is. So many heroes in New York. And we got a few in this show because the Avengers Tower is in New York. So
Yes.
we get a
And all
little
this
Doctor
Sokovia
Strange.
stuff is going
The
on.
Sokovia stuff is going on. At the same time, love the retelling of the story because that's also Spider-Man's introduction in the live action was during the Sokovia
Hmm.
Accords and during Captain America Civil War. And that's what we see in MCU. But it's really cool seeing how this is going to play because honestly, that might be something we see in season two. Is a little bit of Spider-Man getting pulled by the Avengers, like, hey, we need your help with the Sokovia Accords. And we can see this Spider-Man going in a different direction. Because that's a great point to bring up before I go on the show. But even like how Norman lied when he submitted Peter's information for the Sokovia Accords, I found that interesting because what's your motive?
That's because Norman is at least 20 steps ahead. Like he was so pressed to get so close to Spider-Man. I feel like Harry getting caught up in it was just like a beneficial moment for him, like a lucky break for him where he didn't have to move too many chess pieces because he was already looking for him.
Right.
So I feel like this was already like, I feel like he's already been, because how you hear this little flying thing, like you already been looking into this superhero stuff. You already been looking, and because of how you feel about
Facts.
power, and the heroes are more powerful than you. The
Hmm.
people with superpowers
You're
are
trying to
more
get on
powerful
an
than you,
even
and you
playing
equate that
field.
with respect. So
You want
I
an
feel
even playing
like,
field.
and then even with him finding out what Doc Ock got going on, like
Uh-uh. I need that.
it's always been a part of the plan,
It's been very much,
always.
but that's a brilliant D. I'm telling you, friend. I like. I knew you loved Spider-Man, but you can tell
Oh yeah, I
Spider-Man is
love
your
Spider-Man.
favorite because that girl was watching that show with this magnifying glass. Like,
That's
I
what.
see it.
Listen, it was
I
good. It
see
was really
all of
good.
it. It was so good. But that's a great point. Like, that was a really good point that I didn't think about. But the power, that going back to the respect quote, that going back to him, like, when he sees what Doc Ock, his capabilities look like at the time, he's like, man, one, I bet he was thinking missed opportunity because Doc did used to work for him. But then he's probably also,
Mhm.
or maybe they work together. But then he's also like, I want that. Like, I need that. Because I have this idea that I'm working on, and this is going to help me get what I'm trying to get me to be one of the most powerful man in the world. I mean, Norman was very much on that, like, I'm trying to be where they are kind of thing. And I think even getting that teaser, that little sneak peek, Octavius is not through with us yet. Octavius is not through yet. Because I loved how we got the drawing.
Going nowhere.
And I like that they're giving them their credit as geniuses in this show because sometimes I think villains do stupid things on shows and in movies So you forget that this is supposed to be a genius in their universe. Like they're supposed to be a mastermind, a strategist, like next level when it comes to. We're already seeing in this show that they are clearly playing chess or Chinese checkers. They're not playing no little tic tac toe 3 in a row with these hoes
They're not
at
even playing
all.
Connect Four.
They're 100 not Connect Four. Like this is phase 10. This is
Right.
resilience. This is dedication. This is if we're playing the game for 20 hours to get to the end. We're playing the game for 20 hours. That's what they're on. And so I like that we're getting that with this show. Is they're not rushing to introduce anything too soon. They're not rushing to make any too big, too powerful. They're taking their time because they know that they're going to really build this show up and build these characters out. And I really liked how they teased Doc Ock because we're not seeing the random little arm. We're getting this drawing of you standing, designing what this is
Remember we
going
did
to look like.
when they came and got him and all the
We did. We got the
artwork.
arms. We got the arms in the fight.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That actually gets me back to the original point. So I like that in this show, we are reminded more than once that there are other heroes in New York. Because the Sanctum Sanctorum's in New York, so we get the Doctor Strange introduction at the beginning, which we'll have explanation in a second. We get Daredevil after Spider-Man's better and find out there's a spy at Norman's space. So he goes and he's trying to get up in there and figure out what's going on and who it is. And he's like, it was the devil. But it's Daredevil. And I love that this Daredevil intro. Oh my gosh. The Daredevil appearance, because Daredevil is low key one of my top 10 in the Marvel like comics and in what I've seen in shows and movies prior. I've always really effed with Daredevil. And the guy playing Daredevil now, Charlie, whatever his name is, Charlie Cox, I think that's his name. This guy is a great Daredevil. I really like, because he's the voice and he's it's the same. So I'm really excited about this because he is a great Daredevil. If you did not see the Netflix series, y'all, please go see the Netflix series before they drop this
I was gonna
show.
say,
I think
is
this
it
is a
still on there?
perfect. It should be.
You know, Netflix.
If it's not, it's on Disney Plus. If it's not on Netflix, it's on Disney Plus. I think Netflix owns it. So I think it's on Netflix. I should probably look that up. Find the show if you can, children, friends, cousins.
I did one
Find
thing
the
I
show.
didn't like
It,
about
it
the
was
show was how they would break down how he hearing stuff and what he's seeing. I used to love those little moments.
hmm so good, and he was literally one of the few members of the Defenders I have no issue with. Like Iron Fist is a conversation for another day. A whole conversation for another day. And I think on a previous episode I had a different opinion of Iron Fist, but the more I've sat with it, it's percolated in my spirit and marinated and become fully ingrained. I think Iron Fist was a problem. Um, Jessica Jones is a new one that I really liked. Jessica Jones up until we got to season 3. I liked her up until season 3, and I was just like, I don't like season 3. And I don't know. Jessica Jones deserves a little justice, in my opinion, because that's a good character. That is a
I didn't
good
even like her
character.
in
Just
the
a
beginning.
good.
I didn't like Jessica
I
in the
liked her in the
beginning.
beginning. I liked her in the beginning because I was like, oh, this is gritty. And the Netflix take on Marvel, I liked most of the shows because they were definitely grittier. They weren't teeny bopper type
hmm
Marvel shows. It didn't, just like X-Men 97 was not a kid's show, if that makes
hmm
sense. It didn't feel like a kid's show watching it.
Yeah.
It definitely never
This
did feel
one
like
doesn't
kid
either.
shows, like Jessica
Spider-Man.
Jones, Luke Cage. It doesn't feel like a kid
Yeah,
show.
it's like it's enough.
It's nuanced
And it's enough nuance for an adult to be able to enjoy it and catch so many.
to enjoy it, a fan to really enjoy it as well. I think I haven't heard any complaints
And if I do, I'll
from
step on your neck.
period. There it is. But I do like that when they use this Daredevil, cameo. I think it was perfect timing because we got the Daredevil show about to come out, which y'all will probably review it. Y'all know us. We cannot resist a Marvel title. We just cannot. The black millennial nerd in us just cannot. So we'll probably do something. And this is going to be a long series. I'm really excited about it being a 22, 25 episode
They need to
series.
go back to that
Um,
period.
and I thought
Because 10 episodes was
I
not
I
enough
think
for Spider-Man. I
not enough.
wanted
I wanted more.
more. You left me hanging.
Now, this is what I will say. If y'all can give us a season a year or 2 seasons a year, I'll let y'all do 10 episode seasons. But we cannot be
I need
waiting
another
2 years to get season 2.
I need another
I'm
one in
needing this
like
second season in August.
fall. Yeah.
Literally, August into September, we need to be seeing
10 more.
the teasers and the super trailer, and then the show needs to drop in September. Like we need to, yeah, animation. All right, guys. Okay, so while y'all get back to work, we're gonna finish talking about the show, because we need season 2. Uh, I do like that when we get this second and final fight of Spider-Man and Scorpion, we see that he is finally understanding more of who he
Oh,
wants to be
wait.
as a hero
Before
and the
we go
type of hero.
there, we gotta
Oh,
go to Doctor Strange and the portal.
yes. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. So before we get right, leading up to the portal, y'all. Okay. So Norman calls all the interns. He had 4 interns. He calls all of them, and Dr. Connors and Dr. whatever the white man name is. Sorry, y'all, but I can't remember his name. Whitman. It might be Whitman. I think it's Whitman. Whitman, the one we don't like. Call all of them into this space, and it's like, I want to show y'all what y'all been working on. And they're like, huh?
And that's why I said it's all,
Always been the
he
plan.
literally told
Always.
Peter, the only reason why I came up with this is so that I could draw you out. I needed to find you. Like, all of this,
He's
all of it.
deep, detailed planning.
And what reason did he have for making this portal? Oh, because the superheroes this and the superheroes that, and we need to get on
The
a level
superheroes
playing field.
can travel between dimensions and time and transport and stuff. We should be able to do it too. You're like literally hammer on the nail, like literally spot on, perfect game, because he keeps proving it. Literally, this was him again trying to get the power balance. And anytime we've ever seen non-powered individuals manipulate technology or science to manufacture artificial power, it has always worked against them. It has always been a bad decision. And he's like, nothing's going to happen. We're going to open it up to a passive universe and everything's chill over there. We're going to be just fine. And it's like, sir, you don't understand exactly how this thing works. Because this is my theory on an energetic level. Because the monster that comes out is something kind of psychic. Because it's some kind of psychic something where it feels the energy open and knows where to be. So you open up this portal to this universe that clearly this big old venom looking beast comes out of, and we get one of the biggest ahas of the season. We realize, whereas Peter Parker's origin has always been on a field trip, gets bit by a spider, manifests powers. We see him learn his powers. He does some type of wrestling, street fighting, something, trying them out in in a horrible costume that's just like a hoodie and jeans. Always like hoodie and sweats, hoodie and jeans, looking crazy. He realizes, okay, I can do this. I just need to start building it up, and those are our origins to Spider-Man. Great power comes great responsibility. We lose Uncle Ben, and then he really becomes Spider-Man. These origins are unique. Really quick lesson. We've heard in previous Marvel titles about Nexus events and Nexus beings. And I have a theory to present to the class. A Nexus event is an event that has to happen within a timeline. It has to happen this way. And it literally is kind of ingrained into the timeline. It has to happen. It's just, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It has to happen. Okay. I believe in this universe, Peter Parker's origin of being bit by the spider the way that he was is a Nexus event. Because what we learn is that when they open this portal and this monster comes out, that signals to Doctor Strange that there is a portal open and he is there to fight the monster. When he begins to fight the monster, Peter's like, oh, I remember you. You were there when that fight happened and y'all destroyed the school I was supposed to be going to. And he's like, what are you talking about? I've never seen you. That didn't happen. And I've never fought this monster. Only for them to fight and fight with some of Peter's help and end up in a portal, which takes us to the beginning of the series.
That was like so
Get out of
wild.
here.
Like when
That
I
was
tell you
so
they gagged me with that one because that was like a twist I didn't see coming. Didn't see that.
me neither. And I was wondering, why is he saying he doesn't know what he's talking about? But when that portal opened and they got knocked through it, I said, oh. So then it made me, like, that time loop, for that moment of time, when Doctor Strange appeared, up until he disappeared, that's one, a time loop, but two, in that moment of time, Doctor Strange is from the past. Or Peter is from the future. Oh, it just
It's a
blows your
whole
mind. It
mind
just,
fuck.
it's a beautiful loop.
The
It is a
timekeeper would have
beautiful loop.
hated this moment.
Would have hated this so much. What was the time variance authority? TVA would have been. We gotta come zap something because something ain't
Somebody
right over
get zapped
here
for that.
in this universe. But the second part of my theory is this: in this universe, I'm almost willing to bet that this Spider-Man is the Nexus being for this universe because of said time loop. It's the spider coming through, having escaped from something, from something or somewhere. I still don't know where the spider actually came from.
Remember
But it
they
goes through the
were
time loop.
that's a part of the other part of it. Remember they
Oh,
had got
yes.
Peter's blood and
They
they
got
were
Peter's
trying
blood.
to create spiders. So really
Yes.
Peter gave himself.
Himself.
He
Yeah.
gave him
Gave himself
soul
himself.
powers. Like
He gave himself his own
crazy.
powers. That's wild. To give Spider-Man powers from that same that's
Crazy.
past Spider. No. Future Spider-Man got powers from past Spider-Man. Like, it's wild. When you think about it a little bit too long, your mind might crack like an egg. So I would encourage you all just to.
Right. It's
Right
almost like you stand in
now.
front of the mirror with a mirror and it's just endless.
That's the beauty of a loop. That is the beauty of a time loop. I just thought that was such a brilliant take and touch that I don't think any of us saw coming. With the defeat of the monster, because they get it back, they get it through back to where it's supposed to be, they close the portal up. We see a little sliver of it cut off. And I think that's a great Easter egg because that's how we're going to do it in this universe.
Yeah.
Some version of it's going to exist. It might be Eddie. It might be somebody else. We don't know because they've just been really throwing us wild cards all through this universe. So I love that we got a Venom tease. We got a Scorpion tease because Scorpion's done.
Yeah,
Not a Scorpion tease, a Doc Ock tease and a Green Goblin tease.
Yeah.
So we're going to see the three probably greatest villains of Spider-Man really becoming over
And
the
two of
course
the
of the
villains
show,
are
and
going to
I'm
be
really
going at
excited.
each other, which is going to be dope.
Because Doc Ock and Green Goblin are very
Doc
anti each
is
other.
getting out and he is
Very.
coming for his
They can,
things.
and they're like rivals.
Like, first of all, that was such a power move. Oh my gosh.
Such a power
He's
move.
sitting in jail. You just pull up on the phone like, yeah. So yeah, we're shipping that stuff on. Found you. Gotcha. Set you up. Locked you down.
Gotcha. Okay, I will say this. One of my favorite moments in the show, I thought it was hilarious. When they finally catch Doc Ock during his dance scene, and
So
he
cute.
is just dancing. It's so cute. And the arms are just knocking the folks out, taking them out left and right. And he gets to the end, and Iron Man's there. And he's like, oh, so y'all caught the big guns.
Right.
Wink. He was done. And that was hilarious to me. He was like, oh.
Iron Man. God damn.
Oh, y'all caught the big guns. Never mind. Like, take me away. Like, that to me was hilarious, but it was again, to close my own time loop, it was again the beauty of us seeing that this Spider-Man in this universe, in this show, is connected to other superheroes. So I think as this show continues to progress, we're going to see more of that. We'll probably get a little sprinkle of an X-Men or two. We might get a Fantastic Four. We might get a Defenders, a Jessica Jones, a Luke Cage. We might get some of these other kind of characters popping up because we've already got a Daredevil. We might get more Daredevil. We might get Deadpool. Who's telling what we're going to get with this show,
I would
which
get
is what
some
makes it
Hulk
even
in
more
there.
exciting.
I would love that.
Hulk might be in there, especially if we get some Avengers tease. I think we'll definitely see Hulk.
I hope so.
But I'm looking forward to this show continuing to progress and the future seasons of it because it was such a well told story. Even like at the end, when there was the fight between the Scorpions and
Yes.
the 110th and Spider-Man, and that's when Scorpion, interjects, pulls up in there and decides he's going to try to take everybody out.
Mhm.
And Big Donovan hops in the car and hits the road, never to be
He
seen
said,
again.
"You know what? This ain't what I signed up for.
I didn't
I
sign up.
don't want
I didn't sign
to
up for fighting an actual
I don't
Scorpion.
want to do this
Um,
anymore. I'm
I'm
gonna
good. I'm
go."
gone. I'm gonna leave
Thank
y'all
God
here.
Lonnie ended up on
And
the truck, because what was we gonna do?
but what I also like is I wonder how this is because Spider-Man knows who Lonnie is. And I think that that's really interesting because we do see a little team up moment.
Mhm.
I wonder if there'll be more of that or if we're going to actually see Lonnie as more of a villain. Is he going to be anti-hero or is he going to progress? Because I just don't imagine they're going to let this storyline not continue and us actually see it play out
And then it's like
until there's
too,
some kind of
but
end.
at the same time, at this point, Lonnie doesn't have really technically a responsibility to the gang anymore because Donovan gone. Donovan done ran for the hills.
But
And
no,
that's who
think
really
about
was
it.
keeping him there. So now it's more
He
like
took the
he wants
charge.
to be there, which is what's crazy to me. It's like now
Hmm.
it's like you were doing this out of obligation, and now you feel like you belong. Like this is something that
And
you're
now you
proud
feel
to
like you
be taking
belong.
over.
That sense of
But then
belonging is
it's
all it
like
took.
you also, with you being a leader, you would have the freedom to still continue doing what you was doing, how you was doing it before. You don't really have to do this, but even if you did do this, you could do it on your own terms. So I'm interested to see like what route he takes. Because if I'm gonna run it, I'm gonna run it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still gonna do what I want to do because I run this, and we're gonna check. Got football practice. Y'all figure it out. What?
Side note, I really hated him dropping out of school.
Yeah.
I didn't like
I
that.
feel like it.
It gave very much statistic. I get that that goes into the character lore and how they're gonna build this character out. But I was just very much like, we've seen this story, we've seen this person. Like, can we? Hmm.
And then you know
And I
what?
said,
With him
okay,
dropping out of school,
I'm
he
gonna let
gonna
the show
go
play.
full villain. He's gonna go full villain.
Full villain.
I'm not
But
mad at it
I
though.
will say I
He's very
really
hard.
enjoyed the team, like the team up between him and Spider-Man as they were fighting Scorpion. I really enjoyed the team up and how they really played into each other's strengths. Him knowing this is Spider-Man, trying to serve up the best to Spider-Man as he's helping. But I really liked how Spider-Man knows who Lonnie
Mm-hmm.
is. And he even made a comment about it at some point, like, dude, what are you doing here? Like, you're better than this or something like that.
Yeah,
Something
when
to
he
that
first got
effect
there.
when he first got there. But I do like, and even recognizing Pearl was in danger. That's our MJ this season, clearly this show. So it was. I am really looking forward to season 2. I think they did a wonderful job with this
Absolutely.
show. I'm looking forward also to seeing what this little teaser moment was with Peter's father. Because we've, in previous shows, or even movies, I don't ever remember us
Mm-mm.
hearing anything about Peter's father. Nothing. He was
Especially with Uncle
usually,
Ben and Aunt May.
gone or MIA. It's always been Uncle Ben and Aunt May. So I'm interested in seeing that Peter's father is incarcerated, what he did to get there, and who he is in this universe
Yeah.
because we have completely different origins, and
It's
that's
gonna
gonna
be
play out.
so good.
It's gonna be so good,
Because then
so
at
good.
the end, you got Spider Man really understanding who he is. Like he develops his character
Hmm.
and not
Hmm.
whatever Norman wants him to be. But
He's
who he
Spider
is.
Man.
Like,
Hmm.
love it. This
We
is
this
so good.
season was like becoming Spider-Man. Like that's what this first season was.
Yeah.
And so I think from here on, like he is officially Spider-Man now. Like so I think from here on, it's just gonna get better. It's just gonna get better because we're gonna have these villains develop, these friendships develop, these side stories. I just really appreciate how they designed, produced, created this show. Because again, we get so many one note Spider-Man shows and movies and games, but to have something that has complexity, has depth of story, has character
Has
development, has
humor.
nuance, has humor, has drama. Like you get all of this. You get monologues, you get heartbreak, you get all of these
Hmm.
things in one animated show.
Hmm.
I think that's brilliant, and I'm really looking forward to season 2 of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yes,
It was good.
absolutely. 10
So y'all,
times
that gets the
before.
5011 approved. Approval stamp. Boom. It's approved. And we just really want to thank y'all for tuning into this episode, for supporting the show. Y'all get down in the comments. Let us know what y'all
Chat.
think about this one. We're sending love. We're here in March, so we're sending love. Happy Women's History Month.
Yeah.
Um,
Look, gang, gang.
period. Right. Shout out to y'all.
Shout out to
Um,
the women. W's
shout
up.
out to the women. So yes, we're sending y'all love and peace, and we'll see y'all next week in another episode of the 51 Chronicles. Peace.